Excellent.
And they'll see it.
Well, look, and Curtis might even throw you a few dollars or buy you a drink. If you I'm sorry. That is not true. He's not that. He's not
plausible
that
deniability. Yes.
He has a wife. He has a family.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, he's not letting any loose dollars go by. One of the other things that I definitely wanted to talk about because I think this is, it's like the tale of two cities. Best of times, worst of times.
Yes.
We've got some real. Has this been sitting here the whole time?
It has. Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's a prop.
This is live TV.
That's
not
right.
really. We can edit that out. It's no problem. No, I really wanted to. I really wanted to emphasize the fact that this is a golden era amidst all of the madness that is transpiring on so many levels and so distracting in a lot of ways. As you can see, I've got my little plethora of bobbleheads and different things, and there's so many things to talk about.
These are your own, very own.
I lugged. Oh no, this is personal stuff. Yes, all these accoutrements, a little cup there.
Little
yes. Giving a little
Ladies
love.
and gentlemen, Ivy League in the house. Ivy League.
You did not need to go there.
But however, thank God he did not do right for the Dartmouth Review. Okay?
Oh gosh.
Okay.
You went there.
I had to throw it.
I will pay you later. Anyway, but there's a lot of sports. Sports has always been a big part of our conversations and things that we love.
True.
And this is a golden age. We've got figuratively and literally all the best athletes almost in every sport, traditional and non-traditional, across the board. And I'm really excited about it. I mean, I've been a fan of F1, Formula One racing, which is the pinnacle of motorsports.
That's right.
For a long time. Actually, in terms of opportunities to work on documentaries, which is a lot of what I do now in terms of supporting Althea Gibson. And if you haven't seen her incredible, I've got the, hold that up for just one second. The DVD, Althea Gibson, the story of the tennis icon, the Jackie Robinson of tennis and golf. And we'll have some conversation about that in a future show. But 2019 is going to be a big, big year for Althea. We're really excited about that.
Explain 2019.
Well, let me just say quickly as it pertains to Harlem in particular, she was raised from 3 years old on up till her late teens on 143rd Street in Harlem.
Where I live?
You're on 143rd Street?
Yeah.
See, he doesn't invite me to the house, so that's part of the problem. But and my producer is around the corner, a couple blocks away. But she's on 143rd Street where she learned paddle tennis on the streets because it was a play block for the PAL, for the Police Athletic League, and that's how she got her start in playing paddle tennis first. And then she was recognized for her talent, and then brought over to actual tennis. But the mere fact that there's been no recognition of her on that street, we are pursuing some conversation with Representative Bill Perkins.
Nice.
And we also, because of David Dinkins' prominence within her life and his love of tennis and what he's done for the game, we're going to be talking hopefully to him as well and putting a coalition together for a few things in 2019, one of them being naming 143rd Street Althea Gibson Way. So we hope that that's going to take hold. And
as they say, never too late.
Well, what's beautiful is that the United States Tennis Association, the USTA, has already found their artists, and we're a little disappointed that it wasn't a black artist identified, but they will be unveiling a statue of Althea at next year's U.S. Open. So if you are in New York, you need to get out there. It's going to be hopefully a big celebration. We're assuming it's going to be opening night, but we'll see. But there will be a life-size statue for her. The West Side Tennis Club, where she actually broke the color barrier in Forest Hills, they're going to be finally raising her championship banner. They did it for Arthur Ashe last year.
Excellent,
yeah.
excellent.
So it's all coming together.
Well, I would be looking also in terms of some of the amateur courts, one of them in Harlem at 150th Street, known affectionately as the Jungle.
Oh, right, sure.
It would be very, very nice to see them also do something there for her.
Well, I got to tell you, the Jungle has been instrumental in the screenings that we've done. Mayor Dinkins has been helpful. Katrina Adams at the Harlem Junior Tennis program at the Armory.
Beautiful.
She's always been involved. And, you know, it's been a real resurrection. And I'd like to think, well, definitely first, let me give credit to Rex Miller and his incredible film, Althea, which I partnered with him when it first came out. You know what? You want a job here, don't you? You've done this before.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
If you like my audition, thank you.
No, I mean, I appreciate it. But that has been a real, you know, hidden figure story, and I always like to refer to, which was, I could go off on Octavia Spencer, way to go.
Yes,
Greenbrook is going to be huge.
Yes, yes, indeed.
But Hidden Figures was amazing and absolute. And that was really, I guess, my full circle kind of back to talking about inventors of African descent.
Glenn, these particular stories that have never been told. I mean, who knew about Hidden Figures?
I know.
The Green Book, which was an essential guide for us traveling in the South.
No question. Well, that's, I mean, I think that's one of the goals, hopefully, of this show and you know, just moving forward in telling these stories, especially, you know, look, I know young people are caught up, they're distracted, they've got a lot of things to occupy their time, but they need to be attached to this legacy because it's really about them. It's about their future. And with everybody talking about STEM programs, with everybody talking about science and technology and math, wouldn't it be great if we had, and if you just pull up that third one there, wouldn't it be great if we had more coursework about Masters of Invention? And that's, you know, something that I had a little hand in many years ago, but it's been the only DVD, only video done about African American inventors.
Wow.
It's a half-hour long. We're looking, there's some hope that we're going to get it extended, more comprehensive view of African and African American inventors. But there's a huge legacy of contribution that blacks have made to the world, not just this country.
Yes.
And, you know, we talk about necessities, the mother of invention.
I guess the only thing I learned when I was in grade school, unfortunately, was just about George Washington Carver. But there were more.
Sure, Benjamin Banneker. I mean, the list is long, and I'll just throw this name out there because maybe someone will Google it. Henry E. Baker. You know Henry E. Baker?
I don't know.
Okay.
Come on.
I know, right? It's exciting. Little tease. He was, amongst other things, a military man. He worked at the U.S. Patent Office. And most people don't know about patents and the Patent Office and how important. And it's one of the few government entities that makes a ton of money. They're super profitable because those patents are extremely expensive. But here's a gentleman, 50 years after emancipation, from 1863, he wrote his really seminal writings on African American inventors in 1913 called The Colored Inventor. And this is something that's available for free. It's actually online. You can pull it up for free, unfortunately. That's another thing we can talk about is putting value on our contributions on our stuff. But I challenge everybody to go out there. You get a chance, please find that information. It is something that I think you'll find rewarding for yourself and your kids and what have you. But it's really important that these folks are acknowledged. This is a man who wrote over, I think, 1,200 letters to U.S. patent attorneys, most of them white, almost all of them exclusively white, back in the early 1900s to ask them if they've ever gotten a patent for a black inventor.
Wow.
And of course, they were rebuffed. He was rebuffed by many of them, laughing at him, scoffing at him, saying, I've never known somebody to have a good idea, let alone patent one.
Right.
And so what Henry E. Baker did was really tell the world, hey, 50 years after we've been emancipated, here's a huge amount of contribution we've made, not to just this country, but to the planet.
Wow.
And that's something that should be revered more. He should have a statue in front of the Patent Office, literally.
Absolutely.
But that's part of the information that I'm hoping that we get a chance to deliver a little bit more here. But that's why I think it's so important that when we talk about technology, we talk about opportunities to increase really the education level on that technology, that artificial intelligence, all those ways that we talk about, number one, the opportunities within Harlem, within our community, but we also elevate these people, whether it's within Black Panther and that kind of film, or Hidden Figures. And thank God Katherine Johnson is still alive at 100 years old.
Wow.
Thank God this woman, and I had a chance to meet her daughter, Joylette Heilig. Joylette, love you.
Nice.
But I mean, Obama was able to give her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was able to go to the Oscars and get some praise. And this is a woman, if the young lady who wrote Hidden Figures hadn't chronicled that story, Katherine probably wouldn't even have wrote her own memoir.
Not even a footnote.
As important, and I just got to say, as a side note, I'm named after John Glenn. My name, Glenn, and I found this out literally as my mother was passing
I did not know this.
away.
Really?
That was news to me. 75 years on the planet, and my mother told me before she passed that I was named after John Glenn, the astronaut.
Wow.
Who wouldn't have made his historic trip into
Without
space without
contribution.
Katherine
That's
Johnson
right.
signing off on those numbers.
Well, that as you say,
That's insane.
I'm actually named after Tony Curtis. It was just my father was a movie aficionado.
Something
a
like
real
it, huh?
buff. Well, I wonder. But one sister was Yvonne.
Okay.
Yvonne DiCarlo.
Oh, wow.
And my older sister, Marlena Dietrich.
Really?
Yeah. So
you're saying I should have your father in here?
Yeah.
to talk about film. No, I mean that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
incredible. But
Well,
you mentioned in terms of schools. So it's funny. And this is a woman that you may consider at a later date.
Sure.
Ty Abrams.
Okay.
She heads up a program trying to prepare our young people for the specialized high school exams. So I'll be actually participating in a forum tomorrow because I attended one of them. I attended Stuyvesant.
Excellent.
So trying to get our numbers up because right now they are, Glenn, abysmal.
I know. Well, I mean, you know, it's well, yeah. We're going to have a lot of ammunition and information on a number of subjects, especially when it comes around education.
Yeah.
Saw a great feature, and like I say, I hope I'm not getting too far adrift, but you know, Massachusetts has been known to have great education.
Yes.
K through 12,
A lot of schools
and
there.
of course a
The
lot of
Latin school,
universities.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you've got one that was talked about a month or so ago that includes vocational and technical training, which I don't know why they can't emulate that in more places. This
Give
gives
me the
people.
school. What school
Oh
is
my
this?
gosh! You know what? I apologize. I will get that information,
Okay.
and we'll put it on the website.
Absolutely.
You know, and make sure that
Because
you have it. And I can almost remember it, but I'm going to blow it.
And
so
it's not replicated anywhere
it's
else.
a public school, and
Wow.
granted, now I don't know if there are other institutions around the country that may be doing the same thing, but they've modeled themselves literally. We had vocational schools, of course, for a long time, but they've got veterinary services in there, automotive services,
Wow.
but they're also, of course, technology-wise, talking about artificial intelligence, robotics. So they've got these kids really getting their hands dirty on a number of fields before they leave high school, which is so critical
Incredible.
now. Because, as you say, you can be completely adrift before getting to college, even after leaving college, if you don't have, you know, a certain direction that you're going in already.
Correct.
And this school is really providing that, and I think it's something that, you know, like I say, I'm so glad CBS did air this piece that they do every now and then on their morning news show,
Okay.
highlighting this school. But that's something that, to me, it just is a no-brainer, and it's something that really should be emulated. But please keep us abreast of what you're doing with this woman, Miss Abrams.
Absolutely.
It sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of one of the other topics that I had talked to you about earlier, and I want to make sure that we get through it, because I mean, we talked a little bit about sports, and I want to circle back to that because sports has been that level playing field,
Well,
that
Glenn,
meritocracy.
I definitely want to say I'm a New York sports fan. Okay, not just a Yankee, not a Met,
right?
A New York.
Exactly.
So I can root for both.
There you go.
When they get into the World Series together, then I'll have to choose. But until then, I'm a New York sports fan.
Yeah, those days. I hope they're coming back.
Correct, because right now I'm rooting for the Golden State Warriors. Much to the chagrin of my children.
No doubt.
They hate me. They say, Dad, how could you do that? And I also want you to know I enjoy the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, look. Okay, so let's be clear.
Go ahead.
I've got Vince Young here.
Yes, you do.
I've got my boy Culpepper.
Dante,
Okay.
yes.
I had a Michael Vick bobblehead. Unfortunately, it's not with us anymore. We're gonna try to rectify that. And I'll just
Did
say,
a dog eat him?
Stop. No, I mean, what I was getting to earlier, we're in this golden age where within traditional sports, we're finally seeing, of course, black quarterbacks being honored, recognized, and rewarded.
Yes.
Not in the numbers that they should be. I'm sorry, I'm not completely convinced that everyone's on the right page yet. But we've got obviously outstanding quarterbacks. Pat Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's
being
Chiefs.
one of them. one of my favorites and who I'm rooting for personally because I had a chance to meet him several times, Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans.
Yes,
so grateful to see him recover from a nasty injury that sidelined him last year when he was breaking all types of records.
Right.
But Deshaun, thank you. Continue. And he is a better man than he is a football player, and that is saying something. And we need more folks like that.
Yes, we do.
So grateful for Deshaun. But I do want to get back to Lewis.
Okay.
Because I know we kind of, I'm sorry, I'm the host. I skirted around that a little bit. Lewis Hamilton. Here's
man.
He's the man. Formula One racing, and I hope more folks will start to check it out. ESPN has been carrying the sport this year. They're using Sky Sports from the BBC.
Correct, because it came off of NBC Sports.
Right. It was NBCSN at one point last year and previous years, and ESPN has taken it over. And the sad part is they don't even report on it. They're carrying the actual races, and they're not reporting on it.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation we need to have going forward. And let me just say, I'm so grateful for Curtis being here tonight. I will try to have as many different co-hosts coming in and sharing their experiences and their expertise about a number of topics. But sports will be something that we discuss on a regular basis. And Formula One, this is something where, now I started, kind of following it as a young man because I like the electric car sets.
Yes.
And a lot of those had Formula One racing cars,
yes,
Indy cars, racing cars. So I loved Formula One, didn't know where to find it because we don't have it here in the way we did many years ago.
Back in the day, they were looking at establishing a track in Staten Island.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, they were trying to put something in Jersey not too long ago.
That's right.
They are only in, right now, in Austin.
Correct.
At the Circuit of the Americas. Which is an incredible race, and Austin's getting everything now. I mean, they've got South by Southwest. They've got everything going on down there. Shout out to my folks in Austin. But Lewis Hamilton, who's won there 5 times already, or 6 times, he has won his 5th World Driving Championship, which is unprecedented. There's only 2 other people who have that many driving championships. And the team that he went from McLaren. And let me just circle all the way back. I'm going to give you as brief a synopsis as I can. Here's a young man, not of means at all.
Not at all.
His father's from Grenada. His mother is a white British woman, and thankfully his father had the fortitude and the smarts. Now his mother and father unfortunately divorced when he was young, and his father needed to find something to keep Lewis interested in as this single parent at the time. And he would have Lewis sit on the couch and they'd watch Formula One races, and he discovered, quite almost accidentally, that Lewis had a proclivity with remote control cars.
Yes, that's right.
At 5 and 6 years old, he would enter Lewis into these contests, and Lewis would be beating grown adults.
Correct.
20, 30, 40-year-olds.
That's right.
And this kid, and when you see the videos of this is like Tiger Woods knocking the putt in on the Mike Douglas show. He's absolutely, he's a handsome young man, as it is. I don't know if you can tell by this little, that little image there, but we'll post some images for sure so you guys can see him. But as a kid, he's beating these grown-ups. And then, literally his father worked 3 and 4 jobs
just to make it work.
To get him into kart racing.
That's right.
And this was really exciting because when you hear Lewis get interviewed, he talks about his favorite film is Cool Runnings. And he loves Cool Runnings because he's got a Caribbean background also, but those Jamaican bobsledders would show up for the Olympic trials.
And everybody.
And folks would be like, who are these guys? They got a rust bucket of a sled.
Yes.
They're looking kind of haggard.
Yeah.
But they were there to compete. And, in Formula One, needless to say, it is a rich man's game. You have the children of millionaires and billionaires.
It is the high end of automotive sports, the high end.
That is it.
You say Indy? No. Formula One.
And look, and no disparagement because one of my heroes is also Wendell Scott.
Okay.
Of NASCAR fame.
Right.
Grease Lightning.
Yes,
another great film.
Indeed. Good old
Watch it if you get a chance.
Pride, do your thing.
Okay. Pam Grier. Let's not forget that. Yes. And that cat, I don't even want to get into that. I'll tell you a quick story. Okay, years ago at the American Black Film Festival, I met Michael Schultz, the director, famous director. Oh, please.
Schultz.
Car Wash, you name it. And so this was before 2007 which was going to be the 30th anniversary. This film, Grease Lightning, made in 1977. Amazing cast. Roberta Flack, Richie Haven on the soundtrack.
No, no,
I mean, if
really?
you haven't seen Grease Lightning,
I got to see it again now.
I mean,
okay.
Cleavon Little.
Okay. Blazing Saddles fame. Oh my God.
Played Richard's right hand as Wendell Scott's right hand mechanic.
Wow.
That movie is such. And Maynard Jackson's in it. Julian Bond.
No.
These are politicos. These are stalwarts of our time in this movie.
Wow.
I mean, just an amazing cast. Needless to say, Beau Bridges, Jeff Bridges' younger brother, he plays one of the white mechanics who wanted to work with Wendell Scott. I mean, the storyline is absolutely amazing. I mean, you could almost juxtapose all these stories together. People who come from, really working class and poor backgrounds, who have it in their blood to do these amazing, dangerous, amazing sports. And of course, NASCAR came out of the running moonshine.
Yeah, that's right.
Was, and when you see the movie, it's great. But to get back to Lewis as quickly as I can, he had his father working 4 jobs, putting these carts together as best he could. They'd show up at the track, and these are European for the most part, but these are white guys, little white boys who are used to having the best of the best, saying, well, number one, and Lewis
Shiny
is the
carts.
only black driver ever in Formula One. That's it. There is no other. So they see him and his father show up, and they're like, what are you guys thinking? And then Lewis would promptly go out there and kick butt, take the trophy and the bottle of champagne.
That's right.
And at 13 years old, Mercedes-Benz saw the talent, signed him up, put him in his driving program. This is a man who has been breaking records on a pioneer level for all of his life. Really.
Totally. I remember seeing an interview with him, Brian Gumbel.
Yeah.
And basically.
Real Sports.
Exactly.
He did a great little
to be a successful driver, no fear.
Right.
Whatsoever.
Oh, well.
And apparently he has this particular thing in terms of the hand-eye coordination, where literally where others might break hair, he would actually do it
late break. Yeah. Well, that was, and that's really, and to me, and if I ever get a chance to, Lewis, if you're watching,
come on the show, please.
I definitely want to.
You have fans.
I definitely want to interview you.
That's right.
And also ask. Hopefully, I pray that he stays in the game on some level once he decides to hang up his helmet, because young kids, like you said, that hand-eye coordination, there could be plenty. I mean, we've got plenty of young black kids who have great hand-eye coordination. They play video games, as most kids do. Those kids get in the simulator, they can prove their worth, they can get out on a kart track, get the skills they need, and we can have a legacy that extends beyond, because we don't want Lewis to be the only one.
No.
Because the riches are too great. I'll just say, he established himself in there. He's come through. He's won. Now look, anybody who knows, Michael Schumacher is the cream of the crop.
That's the cream of the crop. That's the one who we want.
That is the top dog.
Yes.
He's won 7 world championships. And granted, Lewis would have had 6, and Nico Rosberg hadn't.
He was close. He was close.
Let's not get into that. If it wasn't for Malaysia, anyway. I'm sorry, guys. I know this is a little bit abstract, but for Lewis to have 5, and he is tied now with the great Juan Manuel Fangio, who was the godfather of Formula One racing.
Yes.
He's got 2 more years under contract with Mercedes, which is his team, which he left McLaren to go to Mercedes, which read about, you won't believe.
People had wondered. They had wondered.
No, they didn't wonder. They thought it was the worst decision ever in Formula One history.
They did.
No one thought.
How do you do that?
No one. I mean, maybe some of his family might have thought, crazy? You're leaving McLaren, the history, everything, to go to Mercedes, who hadn't won squadouche in a long time.
Yes.
They were reestablishing themselves, and here is this guy who, it's a really fateful move. If it doesn't work out, which unfortunately, as Fernando Alonso is finding out, he's, the difference between making the right step and making the wrong one is, unfortunately, we're going to find out about Danny Rick leaving Red Bull and going to Renault for next year.
Exactly.
But to have the temerity, the confidence to say, okay, I'm going to leave McLaren, who I've already won a championship with, literally in his second year. This kid was 22.
Right.
And he almost won in his first year, in 2007. Then he wins in 2008. and then, I mean, just has a run. He's the only driver who's ever won every year he's been in Formula One, every year. He won 11 this year, won 11 last year. He broke the record for the number of points, scored over 400 points, with Sebastian Vettel of Ferrari coming in second.
Exactly.
But that's, I mean, it's just an incredible, and the best part about it, and the reason I lavish so much praise on him is because he recognizes his legacy. He knows he stands on the shoulders of Althea Gibson and Arthur Ashe. He's friends with Serena Williams and Venus. He loves his counterparts. He's all about music and his other interests. He has friends across the board. Will Smith made a great video. I don't know if you saw that yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
He was in Abu Dhabi, which was their final.
That's right, his final race.
And he did this great video, and Will Smith is everywhere. I need to be living like Will Smith. He's just lived, you know.
As a matter of fact, I saw he had his Hamilton's suit on. I mean, you
that's
know,
not that's his suit. Okay, no, I mean
custom made, huh?
Well, I mean, because most of the drivers are a certain height. Will's a little tall.
That's right, he is.
But he had a custom Patronus AMG Mercedes suit on.
I got to get me one. Get me one.
Well, you know, I actually, well, I don't want to say. I brought a sweater here.
You did?
Yeah, I got.
Let me see this.
Well, you know what? It's when they had Hugo Boss. It's not the new Hilfiger emblazoned one, but it's still sweet.
Not bad, I would
but
say
yeah, we're gonna have a more sports-centric show. If you guys can handle it, I know we're throwing a lot at you. But I'm so grateful that we could talk about it. I just got to give his numbers quickly. 73 victories. Michael Schumacher has 91. He's only 18 victories away. He won 11 the last 2 seasons. He could be done.
He's going to do it.
He could. I think he's going to do it. And I think he wants to do it.
Yes.
I think so, like I say, considering the fact that he was so close to having 6. But it's just a really exciting time. He recognizes Tiger Woods. People call him the Tiger of Formula One, which, I mean, you know, I think he's established himself. He doesn't need Tiger's credentials. Tiger's doing fine. Even, well, needless to say, we're going to leave that analogy alone. This has been such an amazing inaugural ride for me. I couldn't be happier that Curtis has been able to join me. We've been able to share a number of things. There's so much stuff that we did not get to, and I apologize. But
you need a 3-hour show, you know this.
Stop it. But this is our training wheels are off. This is our inaugural ride, and I'm hoping that you guys will join us going forward. I definitely want to thank my amazing producer who's out there directing and switching and doing all the good things. Kim Singleton.
Big ups.
She has an amazing show called Consider It Blacklit.
Wow.
She's got amazing credits. And hopefully now that I have my show, I can get her in that chair and we'll get a chance to delve into what she's doing. But Consider It Blacklit on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. Check that out. I'm going to wrap up the show and just say this has been, a blast. Real Dreams is about everybody being inspired and empowered, and hopefully your dreams are only sleeping if you don't put action behind them. I was scared as heck to do this, and I still am. But no, people like
and
Curtis
why? Come on, Glad you know this. You're a professional, and you know this. Come on.
And look, I'm just going to give quick props to What's the 411 who gave me a shot some years ago, and to Ruth Morrison and those folks in Brooklyn.
Wow.
Thanks again to African Voices and Carolyn Butts, and my man Nat King Cole, who really put the bug in me and started a lot of interest in this. I wanted to do Johnny Carson, didn't know how to get there.
Oh, really?
But we're getting it started here. Thank you, everybody. We're going to have some social media stuff for you to check out. Real Dreamz TV. I'm your host, Glenn Gilliam, and I hope you'll join us next time. Love you.